Okay, so I know at the end of my Control video, I promised that the next videos would be one about Sable and Titanfall 2. That was a lie, because as I'm sure you can tell from the title, this video is neither of those games. That's because of one thing and one thing only: Destiny 2. So, the title of this video may sound a little fruitless. After all, I'm sure you've all heard of Destiny, even if you haven't played it for yourself. So why am I trying to raise awareness of it now, of all times? I mean, Destiny 2 came out in 2017. Well, it's because most things you hear about Destiny are the negative things. Most people outside of the Destiny community know of the game's many controversies and pitfalls, but not its moments of greatness that have so often been overshadowed. But now, after 7 long years, Destiny is finally in a comfortable position. Destiny as a franchise has had a great deal of ups and downs. From the soul-crushing launch of Destiny back in 2014, the insane excitement surrounding the Taken King expansion that delivered on a Destiny 2.0 idea, back to plateauing for extended periods of time until the launch of Destiny 2 in 2017. And that's just the launch from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. Destiny 2 has had a whole journey of its own, including the familiar soul-crushing feeling at launch, as it seemed more a sequel to Destiny as it was in 2014, and how it had been after years of improvement. There were several microtransaction scandals, poor early DLC, broken PvP, and so much more. I've always loved Destiny, no matter its highs and lows, but I couldn't confidently and passionately recommend the game to people for all these years because it felt like a broken promise. Destiny had never reached its full potential, at least not for long enough to claim it was well worth your time and investment, unless, of course, you're a masochist. Wait. Fuck. But now, in 2021, 4 years after its release, I can wholeheartedly recommend Destiny 2 to you. Let's get the basics out of the way first. Just like Halo before it, Bungie absolutely nail the gunplay in Destiny. This is one thing that has never changed, because thankfully, it's always been a joy to explore and wipe out aliens in the beautifully haunting post-collapse world of Destiny. If there's one thing that has always kept my dumb monkey brain entertained, even when there was no content to actually play, it was the sheer enjoyment of playing Destiny. Pew pew pew. Each weapon archetype feels distinct and tactile, with endlessly satisfying precision damage effects. Movement is flawless across all 3 classes, putting control squarely in the player's hands. Speaking of the 3 classes, they remain wholly unique and entertaining, but not restrictive like picking a class in plenty of MMOs can be. The array of planets you can explore are beautiful and full of interesting details for those with a keen eye. Plus, Destiny is just the perfect game to play alone or with friends, offering content to fit all players' needs, such as solo content, 3-person teams, and all the way up to 6-person raids. All in all, Destiny is, and always has been, a joy to play, and that alone has been enough to keep me playing all these years. The layers that Bungie have been building on top of this solid foundation, over the past year or so, is where it gets interesting. It's time for a history lesson.
When the final rumblings of World War II came to a close in 1945, the world did not transition into a steady period of peace. Rather, it was followed by one of extreme geopolitical tension and anxiety as the 2 superpowers left standing, the United States and the Soviet Union, teetered the brink of all-out war for over 40 years.
That's better. Back in October 2019, alongside the release of the Shadowkeep expansion, Bungie revealed a shift in their content delivery method. They moved towards a true seasonal model for content delivery, which, If you played basically any game in the modern gaming industry, then you're probably well versed in it. Bungie followed this trend of many other games in recent memory, such as Call of Duty Warzone and Fortnite, which introduce a variety of new gameplay features and items with each season, typically coming alongside a battle pass which contains even more items. Prior to this announcement, Destiny, both 1 and 2, was based around one large expansion in September of every year, which would bring not only more story content and gameplay features, but also, more importantly to the longevity of the game, overhauls to specific systems. To keep players engaged throughout the rest of the year, there would be 2 small expansions, such as Curse of Osiris in December 2017 and Warmind in May of 2018. Between the Forsaken expansion and Shadowkeep there were seasons, however, such as Forge, Drifter and Opulence, but these didn't fully execute upon the idea of seasons for several reasons, including that there wasn't a battle pass to go along with it. Nevertheless, the system clearly wasn't working out for Bungie or for the players. Players, including myself, would devour all of the content these smaller DLCs had to offer within just a matter of weeks, and that's me being generous most of the time, and then would once again be left wandering aimlessly until the next content drop. This was the problem that the new seasonal model was supposed to solve. It would replace these midway DLCs with smaller repeatable activities that would stick around for the 3-month season and then leave. In theory, it would provide players with a steady stream of content throughout the year that would be unique between seasons. But there was a reason why I still didn't avidly recruit people for the cult that is Destiny. These activities were grindy and they lacked any kind of narrative thread linking them all together. It was simply content for content's sake. But this all changed in year 4. Jump to November 2020 and we see the rise of what Destiny could really mean. November saw Destiny 2 enter its 4th year with the release of the Beyond Light expansion, and Season 12, Season of the Hunt. This marked a true turn in Destiny's journey. Bungie had finally found their footing with the new seasonal model and had managed to turn out a solid season and an excellent expansion with an intriguing narrative about stasis that would draw us ever closer to the elusive darkness. Beyond Light would follow up on many of the narrative threads brought up in Shadowkeep in year 3, now showing a clear commitment to an overarching story that Destiny has been sorely missing for all these years. It would see the darkness make their first true appearance as an armada of pyramid ships encroached on our solar system, which was also clever reasoning for removing lots of old, unplayed content that was restricting future development, but the content vault is a whole nother debate entirely. This was the start of a new era for Destiny, and one that is only getting stronger. Season 13, Season of the Chosen, would see Guardians fighting to work out a deal with Keitel, Empress of the Cabal, after Zavala refused to kneel in subservience. Season 14, Season of the Splicer, perhaps the best season Destiny's ever seen, focused on a Vex invasion of the Last City, the calculated manipulation by the Witchqueen Savathun, and a very touching story of becoming allies with the Band of Fallen, a species whose interaction with Guardians typically meant a bullet to the face. And now, in Season 14, Season of the Lost, humanity is trying to gather its allies and deal with the fallout of previous events, while also preparing for the arrival of the Witchqueen in Destiny 2's next big expansion, coming in February 2022. The past year has seen a major stride in Destiny's storytelling, unearthing the incredible lore that was previously relegated to lore cards and item descriptions. And my name is by videos. It's now a complex narrative with interesting characters, some of which were once our enemies, now making amends under the shadow of the coming darkness. The storytelling is not the only aspect which has seen major improvements since release. In fact, many core pillars of the Destiny experience have also been overhauled. One of the most notable of these changes was Armor 2.0, introduced with Shadowkeep. Armor 2.0 would see a total overhaul of the armor system, replacing the random rolled perks on armor in exchange for swappable mods and random armor stats. With these changes, there is now so much more diversity and depth in armor customization, with fully fledged builds now being a possibility. Want to be a grenade happy crazy person? Chuck on armor with high discipline and mods that recharge grenade energy. Equip a weapon with the demolitionist perk. My personal favourite? Code of the Siegebreaker on a Sunbreaker Titan. to stand in the flames of defeated enemies for ability energy. With this, I become a flaming steamroller of fucking death. I've also recently tried out a stasis build on my Titan, which has insanely high ability recharge rate, letting me freeze entire rooms of enemies in an instant. Weapons also receive some love, now coming with a greater variety of interesting traits to move away from the outlaw, rampage and kill clip perks that have dominated Destiny for years. Take Adagio for instance. After defeating a target, this weapon fires, charges or draws more slowly and deals increased damage for a brief period of time. Or take Encore. Precision final blows grant a stacking range bonus to this weapon. Non-precision final blows remove range stacks, but grant bonus accuracy and stability when all range stacks have been removed. Overall, there's just a lot more depth in Destiny 2's gameplay now than there has ever been in the past. I'm constantly hunting for new weapon perk combinations to complement my build, or finding that perfect piece of armour to slot in. There's never been a better time to start your journey with Destiny 2, or even return to it if you left the game some time ago. I can confidently say that this is the best Destiny has ever been, complete with a rich and engaging story filled with intriguing characters that have grown significantly, mountains of content, particularly for those players who have yet to play Forsaken, Shadowkeep or Beyond Light, although Forsaken is being vaulted in the future, so play that if you haven't, and a much more varied and fun sandbox to play in general. To put an even bigger smile on my face, it looks as though Destiny is only going to improve as it grows into the vision I had of the game all those years ago, watching the original 2013 E3 reveal for Destiny 1. The Witchqueen represents an important evolution in the ongoing story of Destiny 2. Beyond Light built the foundation and allowed us to weave the world building of Destiny and Destiny 2 together, but the Witchqueen will light the fire on a strongly interconnected narrative across Lightfall and beyond, unlike anything we've ever attempted before, with characters, arcs, heroes and villains that persist over future releases. Even more importantly, the conclusion of these releases will also conclude the Light and Darkness saga, the conflict we first introduced with the launch of Destiny many years ago. The Witchqueen, slated for a February 2022 release, promises to build upon the narrative of Beyond Light and the following seasons as Savathûn makes her first in-person appearance. Lightfall, planned for 2022, will continue this trend until The Final Shape in 2024, the expansion that will conclude this decade-long Light and Darkness story that began in 2014, the original Destiny. If the narrative remains at such a strong quality and pace, then it's sure to be a journey to be around for. But that won't be the end of Destiny. The franchise may have been originally planned as a 10-year venture, but Bungie have confirmed a future for the franchise. Whether that means a new nemesis beyond the darkness, or something entirely different remains to be seen. Either way, after 7 long years, I can finally, confidently recommend Destiny 2. It's by no means a perfect game. I mean, the community is constantly debating the matter of the Destiny content vault, for instance, but nevertheless, no matter how many friends you have or how you like to play, Destiny 2 offers something for everyone. Try it out, even if you played it a year ago, jump in and give Destiny a chance. And hey, it might just surprise you.